Welcome to IHIP News, where we share our opinion about the news that is important to us. And what's really important to me right now, listener, is where you stand and what you did on November 5th.
I completely agree. It's really a benchmark in history, I think.
And everybody is on the record that's out because we have cell phones, the internet, and you have all the people that have bent themselves, J.D. Vance being one of them. He went from Trump is America's Hitler to, his lapdog, and so on and so forth. Lil Marco, Lindsey Graham, we could just go on and on.
Ted Cruz,
on and on. One person who's always been on the right side of history is LeBron James. And he really riles up white people on Fox News. On the one hand, a lot of them probably like to watch sports, particularly the NBA, which is dominated by African-American athletes. But when these Americans who are huge job creators, major impact on the economy, which is what everybody at Fox cares about, have a political opinion, they get really mad about it.
They don't like it.
They do not like it. White people don't like it when successful Black people have very strong opinions. But LeBron James, over the last couple of days, endorsed Kamala Harris. And he didn't just endorse her. He made a lot of parallels about how history judges the oppressors. And make no mistake about it, listener, MAGA is a full-blown oppressive and regressive movement. Let's listen to LeBron James' endorsement here.
All right. Heck yeah. It's a cool black guy. That's one of my buddies. We had fun. We carved watermelons together. It was awesome.
No, I'm not a racist.
They're taking black jobs now. The whole country's going to be it'll be like Detroit. A lot of it's about the genes, isn't it? Don't you believe? They're poisoning the blood of our country. Troublemaker. These are troublemakers. Look, I love the old days, Do you know what they used to do to guys like that when they were in a place like this? They'd be carried out on a stretcher, folks. Like to punch him in the face, I'll tell you. Now, if you had one really violent day, like one rough hour, and I mean real rough, the word will get out and it will end immediately. But we're going to indemnify police officers and law enforcement from being destroyed by the radical left. You're changing history, you're changing culture.
Of course I hate these people. And let's all hate these people, because maybe hate is what we need.
It's so gross when you hear that clip. I applaud LeBron James. That was a great clip. Some of that stuff I had forgotten about. So it was a great reminder, and good for him, because I just think of Laura Ingraham. Shut up and dribble. Fuck off. He makes a gazillion dollars a year. He's smart. He's informed. He's educated. I love that video. Rah, LeBron James for me.
And LeBron gets to have an opinion. And Fox News, Laura Ingraham, they don't get to tell somebody to shut up and dribble. I mean, that's so demeaning to all of his accomplishments. But for those of you that are listening and didn't see this on YouTube, he uses a lot of footage from the 1960s and how Black people were hosed and treated by the police, and references that when Trump is talking about back in the old days, we used to do this, we used to do that. In this video, LeBron James makes the point, this is what they want to go back to. So when Kamala Harris says we're not going back, that really, really speaks to minority communities and their allies. And every white person should be an ally to these minority communities. You can either be an oppressor or you can be an ally. And MAGA, Donald Trump, and everybody that votes for them are racist oppressors. We have 10 years of this. There's no way around it. There's no way that somebody can tell me that they're voting for Donald Trump and they're not a racist. It's just not possible. You're either shocked and disgusted by it, or you say, oh, I'm not a racist, but, and if you have to say I'm not a racist, you're probably a racist.
You probably are.
Okay. LeBron James talks about the history of all of this in his endorsement, but I want to hear I want you all to hear a clip where Trump talks about history. And this is an oldie but a goodie.
In this video, I just start kissing them. It's like a magnet, just kiss. I don't even wait. And when you're a star, they let you do it. You can do anything. Grab them by the you can do anything. That's what you said, correct?
Well, historically, that's true with stars.
It's true with stars that they can grab women by the
Well, that's if you look over the last million years, I guess that's been largely true. Not always, but largely true. Unfortunately or fortunately.
And you consider yourself to be a star?
I think you can say that, yeah.
Historically.
He's so gross. I had not seen that in a few years, and I was so revolted at that. He thinks that because his daddy left him a bunch of money, that he can do whatever he wants to women because he doesn't want women to have any agency. He is the grossest, most vile cretin on earth, I feel like.
And a lot of these people, these Gen X or baby boomer Trump voters, a lot of these people are the pearl clutchers during the Clinton administration. And think about that. This is their candidate for the third time in a row, the moral majority. And, you know, we're the silent majority and we're compassionate conservatives, the Puritans. Here he is talking about grabbing women, assaulting women without consent because for millions of years, it's been well documented that you can do this. And he's saying this in a deposition. It's on camera, and this is their guy. All of those Christian nationalists, this is their guy.
The hypocrisy seems to be lost on them. I saw a side-by-side quote of Franklin Graham condemning Bill Clinton, like we're a party of family values, and then snot slinging over Donald Trump. And I'm just like, you're as repulsive as he is because you should know better.
Well, and here's the thing. I don't really give a shit how many times Donald Trump's been married or how many kids he has. Right. It's none of my business. But to the family values voter, this guy has been antithetical to family values. It's very obvious that he doesn't really even like his kids very much. Right. He and his wife don't have a warm relationship, that it's very transactional. I mean, this man has cheated on his wives. According to his first wife, under oath, he raped her. And, you know, he's screwing porn stars while Barron's a baby or Melania's pregnant. I can't remember, probably all of the above. And that's their guy because at the end of the day, they want to say they're for this, but they want to diminish women. They want women to be second-class citizens. And that is the second rollout of this MAGA movement that's really getting a lot of steam right now in the closing days of this election. And I think instead of them saying a woman isn't qualified, they've started attacking female voters. But at the end of the day, they don't think women should vote. They don't think a woman should be president. And the fact that she's a woman of color really occupies a lot of real estate for them because they know that it could be a nail in the coffin for their movement because they know that she's a lot more qualified. And to illustrate that, let's listen to these side-by-side clips of the closing arguments between Vice President Kamala Harris, and then we'll listen to former President Donald Lecter, dementia patient.
As president, I pledge to seek common ground and common sense solutions to the challenges you face. I pledge to not try to score political points, but to make progress in your lives and in our country. I pledge to listen to those who will be impacted by the decisions I make. I pledge to listen to experts. I pledge to listen to people who disagree with me because, you see, unlike Donald Trump, I don't believe that people who disagree with me are the enemy. He wants to put them in jail. I'll give them a seat at the table. That's what real leadership looks like. And I pledge to always put country above party and self, and to be a president for all Americans.
Let's put her with a rifle standing there with 9 barrels shooting at her, okay? Let's see how she feels about it. You know, when the guns are trained on her face.
And if anybody is wanting to defend Donald Trump and say he was using that as an analysis because she and her dad have been war hawks in the past, he went ahead and went on Truth Social and just retruthed a meme where it says they want to put Liz Cheney in front of military tribunals. He just did that. And so he's letting everybody know, yes, I'm going after my enemies. 100% I'm going after all of them if I win. Like, this is going to be the darkest revenge tour that could only be paralleled with the horrible fascist regime of Adolf Hitler.
You know what's interesting to me? I mean, a lot of things, but he's not even trying to hide his vengeance. He's not even trying to hide how immoral and depraved he is. He wants everybody to see it. I mean, I can't imagine that his campaign is like, oh yeah, that's what you need to do to close the deal. Tell women you'll do it whether they like it or not. Put Liz Cheney in front of a firing squad. I mean, my guess is this depraved individual, this is the real him. This is all he's got.
Here's why he thinks he can do that. Because he goes to these rallies, and when he says this stuff, they cheer. They salivate, they foam at the mouth because they like it so much. And any notion that he has anybody decent surrounding him, any guardrails whatsoever, this is a man who spent the final days of his presidency with Mike Lindell of MyPillow and the Kraken lawyer, and then everybody else went to jail. All of the decent neocons that were surrounding him that believe in the Constitution but are completely conservative, they have all said, we think he's a fascist and he's dangerous. So I don't believe that anybody in his campaign is opposed to anything that he says. I don't think there's anybody sane around him. You would have to be a morally depraved individual after you've seen what he did during his 4 years, how he campaigned before that, what he's done, his grievance tour, January 6th, 34 felony counts, all of these other pending court crimes, libel for sexual assault, and on and on. I mean, I think I couldn't even imagine that he has anybody with any sort of aha, like, oh, I don't think we should say that, surrounding him. I just don't think it's possible.
I think a lot of people surrounding him are yes men, like the sycophants that just tell him exactly what he wants to hear. But I mean, nobody can even tell him you need to blend your makeup. Like, he runs around with these huge contour lines. So I'm like, what's he going to do in the Situation Room when somebody disagrees with him? I mean, think about that. If they're too scared because he's too big of a bully to say, hey, let's rub your makeup and blend it a little bit. What's going to happen when we're talking serious issues with international relations? It's not good.
We know that he has no intentions of doing that because Project 2025 says that he intends to install only Trump loyalists.
I know, but you're going to have to think there's going to be a conflict that he's going to have to fall on two sides. Like, what's this view? What's that view?
You would think that as a normal person.
Maybe I'm just crazy.
You would think that a normal administration and a normal person would have that, but they've been very vocal that it's loyalty or bust surrounding him. I mean, there's only I can fix it. And so, and he's been saying that for many years now, and all of the people surrounding him are all in on that. I do believe there are a lot more nefarious characters behind the scenes, but I think he's a Trojan horse that's going to come in. Everybody's going to tell him yes, yes, and they're going to start rocking him and putting him to bed, and then they're going to roll out even something more demonic.
Yeah, he's an easy prey.
Okay, guys, we'll see you later.